Hey everyone, welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, where truth cuts through the tabloid noise. I'm your host, Adrian, and today we're setting the record straight about something the British media loves to get wrong: Meghan and Harry's Netflix deal. You've heard the criticism. Where's the content? They haven't delivered. But let's press pause on the noise, because the truth is, they actually fulfilled what Netflix really wanted, and that's not speculation. That's straight from the horse's mouth, or in this case, the executive suite. Let the fire warm your faces, and let its gentle glow remind us that sometimes the best truths are found in quiet moments together. Out there, the world is noisy, full of honking horns, flashing cameras, and people quick to judge without knowing the whole story. Today, I want to share a story you think you know, about Harry and Meghan, and their much-discussed deal with Netflix. Many voices claim they simply took the money and didn't deliver, but the truth, as always, is much deeper and more complex. Headlines love to paint a tale of failure, of broken promises and unmet expectations, but that's only the surface of what really happened. Imagine for a moment a young couple bravely stepping away from a life that was planned out for them since birth, searching for a new path where they could use their voices freely. They signed a deal not just for the money, but for a chance, a platform to share stories that truly matter to them, stories that might otherwise go unheard. The world expected endless entertainment, blockbuster hits and constant drama, but what Harry and Meghan offered was something more challenging, and in many ways more valuable: honest conversations and new perspectives. So let's take a moment to peel back the noise, to step away from the headlines and find the quiet truth at the heart of the matter. This isn't just about contracts or business deals. It's about courage, about stepping into the unknown, and about the power of personal narrative to change the world. Remember, the real story is always more interesting, more layered, and more human than the one you're told to believe. Let's look a little closer together. When Netflix partnered with Harry and Meghan, the world buzzed about the money. Headlines screamed about the size of the deal, and speculation ran wild about what the couple would deliver. But Netflix wasn't buying just content. They were investing in a cultural moment, something that would resonate far beyond the screen. This was about more than just entertainment. It was about shaping the conversation. The real value was authenticity, not quantity. Audiences crave stories that feel real, that break through the noise and connect on a human level. For decades, others told their story. This deal was about reclaiming it. Finally, Harry and Meghan had the chance to speak in their own words, on their own terms. Netflix wanted impact, not just volume. They were searching for a project that would leave a mark, not just fill a schedule. Think of it. A single locked diary the world wants to read is more valuable than 1,000,000 familiar books. The anticipation, the mystery, the promise of something new, that's what makes it priceless. One honest story from two of the world's most famous people was worth more than a dozen ordinary productions. Their truth had the power to move millions and change perceptions. Netflix sought a story that would define a cultural moment and spark global debate. They wanted something that would get people talking, questioning and reflecting. The partnership was designed to unfold over time, not to fill a content quota. It was about building something meaningful, not just meeting deadlines. Some stories need time to be told properly. Rushing would only dilute their impact. Patience was key to capturing the full picture. The real goal: create a body of work that stands the test of time. Netflix wanted something that would be watched, discussed and remembered for years to come. Critics missed this point, counting trees while Netflix saw the unique forest. They focused on numbers but missed the bigger picture. The value was always in the story, not the spreadsheet. In the end, it's the narrative that endures, not the numbers. The work began with the docuseries Harry and Meghan, a global event. For the first time, the couple spoke directly about their journey, breaking Netflix records. It offered the public a raw, personal perspective, unfiltered by the press. Then came Leave to Lead, highlighting global leaders and their mission to inspire. Heart of Invictus followed, focusing on wounded veterans and resilience. These projects weren't about royalty or celebrity, but about courage and community. Each delivered more than entertainment. They sparked conversation and challenged narratives. Harry and Meghan exposed the monarchy-media relationship. Live to Lead and Heart of Invictus celebrated leadership and strength. Together, they fulfilled the promise, powerful, untold stories that create change. Despite their impact, criticism persisted, especially from the British press. Critics focused on quantity, not quality, declaring failure by flawed metrics. But this was never about a Netflix contract, it was about resisting uncomfortable truths. Their docuseries held up a mirror to the royal family and media, exposing what many wanted hidden. Attacks on productivity were really attacks on credibility. Critics wanted the public to focus on deliverables, not substance. But while critics counted, millions watched and discussed. The value of their work is measured in minds opened and perspectives shifted. The critics watched the clock. The world felt the change. Inside Netflix, the view was different. Executives like Ted Sarandos praised the partnership and its success. The docuseries brought a massive global audience and subscriptions. Netflix saw long-term potential, understanding that building a brand takes time. The Sussexes' global profile remains strong, a prime asset for Netflix. Public statements reflect a fruitful collaboration and anticipation for future projects. This is a long-game strategy, not a short-term panic. The partnership is evolving as planned, not in trouble. Netflix's support is a business reality, not just PR. The noise outside is just that, noise. Let's revisit the promise. It wasn't to churn out endless shows, but to use their independence to share meaningful stories. Their work, from personal docuseries to global leadership and veterans, shows they kept that promise. They forged a new path, using their platform to speak on difficult subjects. By exposing their own struggles, they started global conversations about mental health and media responsibility. Their courage empowered others to speak out. They faced criticism, but didn't back down, showing resilience. They found their voice and used it to challenge power and uplift the marginalized. They built a new life and produced impactful content, fulfilling their end of the bargain. Their promise was about courage, and it was kept. As the fire's embers glow, we're reminded of the quiet strength that burns within us all. Let's take a moment to reflect on this story's lesson, a lesson about courage, resilience, and the power of speaking up, even when it's difficult. It's about giving credit where it's due, especially to those who show bravery in the face of adversity. Harry and Meghan chose to tell a difficult truth, fully aware that criticism and backlash would inevitably follow their decision. Their Netflix partnership was more than just a business move. It was a bold declaration of independence and self-determination. It became a way for them to reclaim their narrative, to write their own story on their own terms. In a world overflowing with twisted headlines and relentless media spin, speaking honestly and openly was nothing short of radical. They stood up to a powerful system, refusing to be silenced, and spoke for themselves and for others who feel unheard. They could have chosen an easier, quieter path, one that avoided controversy and challenge. But instead, they chose advocacy, using their platform to address difficult subjects and spark important conversations. Their work blends commercial success with a deeper sense of purpose, showing that you can make a difference while building a career. They're building a legacy defined not by titles or tradition, but by the impact they leave on the world and the lives they touch. Let's learn to value courage over criticism and authenticity over spectacle, celebrating those who dare to be real. The strength to stand and speak your truth even when it's hard is a rare and admirable quality. It is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful forces for good in our world, capable of inspiring change, hope, and unity.